Good evening, everyone, and welcome to E3 with John Guns. I am, again, so excited about what God is doing, so excited about where God is taking us, and so excited about the amazing and incredible opportunities that are embedded in this season. And so, a part of what I want to do is that I'm actually doing something kind of interesting, and I'll give it away. I'm actually going back and looking at some of the E3 content from previous seasons. I haven't run out of content, but I started really praying, and the Lord said to me, go back and kind of reteach some of the stuff that you taught in previous seasons, because a part of the genius of E3 is that the information is so amazing until it can produce continual growth. The information is so amazing until it can produce continual growth. And so, part of what I want to do today is that I kind of want to talk you through this whole idea of living with urgency while executing strategically. Living with urgency while executing strategically. Write this down. Write this down. Urgency is not panic. It's a demanded sense of responsibility within an opportunity. Urgency is not panic, but it's this kind of weighted sense of responsibility within an opportunity. Urgency is not panic. It's this sense that there's something in front of you that you've got to pursue. And if you do not do it with a sense of right now-ish, you will mismanage it. One of the most amazing things about living life with urgency is that you find yourself making decisions within the moment that produces the ultimate outcomes that you believe, according to Jeremiah 29. This is my Bible verse moment. Jeremiah 29, I alone know the plans I have for you. I know the plans I have for you. I am aware that there is a set of plans that I've devised for you, only for you. And I want you to absorb a commitment to seeing those plans lived out. I alone know the plans I have for you. Plans to bring you prosperity, plans to bring you fulfillment, plans to bring you into a place of prosperity, plans to bring you into a place of productivity. I alone know the plans I have for you, right? And so when you live with urgency, you are pursuing clarity about those plans. I shared in our morning prayer call today that I'm reading Ephesians chapter 5. We're all supposed to read Ephesians chapter 5. And so I was reading Ephesians chapter 5 this morning, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. There's a verse, and let me find the verse. That might be better. Let me find the verse. Yes, Ephesians 5:10. Ephesians 5:10. And it says, try to learn what pleases the Lord. That's how it reads. But when I read it, what I heard was live a life of urgency by seeking the knowledge that pleases God. Live a life of urgency by seeking the knowledge that pleases God. And so this idea of living with urgency is really an amazing thing, because when you live with urgency, you are basically going after something that really does have a clock to it. It has a clock to it. It can end at any moment. That window can close. And so if you're sitting in an opportunity, that window can close. So let me say a couple of things to you that are important. The first thing is that to live with urgency is to live with humility. To live with urgency is to live with humility. What does that mean, Bishop? Here's what it means. When I am living with urgency, I am open to the voices of others who can help me take advantage of it. But also when I'm living with urgency, I am seeking God in a way that ensures that I don't misappropriate what is an obvious opportunity for me. See, the truth of the matter is that God has given us all these amazing opportunities, right? That's the first thing you got to understand about God. God has given you an amazing opportunity. God offers opportunities in life. God offers exits. God offers entrances. God offers possibilities. God warns us against negativities. And so at the end of it all, when you understand the power of God and the strength of God, and you understand the opportunities extended to you, then what you learn to do is you learn to live with humility. Because humility allows you to manage with urgency those opportunities that you must now execute strategically. But here's the other thing. It's about building partnerships that advances vision. Ben Stein, and this became one of my favorite quotes, writes, personal relationships are the fertile soil from which all advancement, all success, all achievement in real life grows. Personal relationships are the fertile soil, from which all advancement, all success, all achievement in real life grows. One of the things I've discovered, and I really want to press this, I've discovered that when I am in my good relationship space, I'm in my strength. That when I'm in good relationship space, I'm in my strength. When I'm in bad relationship space, I'm in my weakness. Relationships is what I do well, right? I think I do relationships well. And I've learned how to build relationships whereby vision is advanced, whereby the purpose of God is achieved. I've learned that by building out the right types of relationships, I have the ability within those relationships to pursue the very things that are in my grasp. And so one of the things that I want everybody to recognize as you're listening to me today is that these kind of relationships take work. Relationships that advance your vision, your life's vision, takes work. I gave you one trait, humility, but let me show you some other things. One, you need to be able to express value for the relationship. You got to be able to express value, which means if a relationship is going to benefit me, right? If a relationship is going to help me achieve vision, whatever that vision may be, I have to see the value within the relationship, and then I have to communicate that value. I have to show the person or persons that are a part of the urgent execution strategically of vision. I have to show them that they are valued by me. Sports teams do this by paying players, right? That the players that are deemed to be the most valuable to the team, they get the bigger contracts, right? Is that fair? Yeah, I guess within a capitalist system, yeah, it's fair. So the question becomes, who are those persons that are valuable to your success? Who are those persons that are necessary for you to achieve the purpose that you're created to achieve? You got to express value to that, value to them. You got to place value on the relationship. But here's the second thing. You have to create goals for the relationship. If I'm going to live with urgency, I have to define why this relationship is important. Then I have to define where we want to go in this relationship. Where do we want to go? What are the outcomes that will measure that we've been successful? What are the outcomes that will measure that we've accomplished our goals as an organization, as a group, as a person, as a relationship? What are the goals? Goals are your measurables. But here's the third thing. Because relationship is valuable, you got to fight the tendency to overreact in conflict. You got to fight the tendency to overreact in conflict. This is so good. But one of the things I love about my relationship with my wife right now, and it really is a blessing, is we really are learning how to control our emotions when it comes to conflict. And don't get it twisted. We have our conflict. Lord have mercy. I can be pouty sometimes, and she can go to shutdown thing. But you know what? Let me rephrase that. She really doesn't do that anymore, which is really amazing. I still kind of pout a little bit, right? but what's interesting is the fact that I love the way neither one of us within our relationship overreact to conflict. I love the way neither one of us overreact. Again, and it's real easy to overreact. You can get in your feelings and you can walk around and you can be angry at the world. You can get in your feelings and you can be unavailable and inaccessible. You can get in your feelings and you can act like everybody is just, people are just the worst people in the world and you can't stand them and da da da. You can get in your feelings. We all can. We all can get in our feelings. We all can. But the thing that I want you to grasp is that getting in your feelings works against where you want to go in life. The reason why you got to protect yourself is that getting in your feelings works against where you want to go. You don't want to get in your feelings because when you get in your feelings, you set yourself up for the worst of things. So you got to fight this tendency to get in your feelings, to allow conflict to kind of move, because here's what conflict does. Conflict stagnates your commitment to urgency. Make sure you get that. Conflict stagnates your commitment to urgency. That when you get in your feelings, when you overreact to conflict, now the conflict becomes what you're concerned about and not what you're trying to achieve. The conflict becomes what is now most important to you. Winning the argument, proving your point. That's why you got to check your ego at the door when you're living with urgency. That's why you got to check your ego. That's why you can't get caught up in all of the stuff, because the genius of relationships is that relationships are truly the soil by which success is achieved. You don't achieve big stuff alone. It's always in some kind of partnership. And so this idea of fighting the tendency to overreact in conflict is huge. There's this quote by Zig Ziglar, and it says, "I believe you can get anything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want." What does this mean? Here's what it means. It means that when I don't overreact, now I can be a partner with other people, because conflict does not distract us from the pursuit of opportunities. People who get this principle are extraordinary. People who understand this are amazing. People who recognize this just live in different space. They move around differently. They operate differently. They refuse to be drawn in to negative spaces because they understand that being drawn into negative spaces, man, this is really good. Being drawn into negative spaces ultimately produces greater. Being drawn into negative spaces ultimately produces a greater divide from the desire to do great things. That's what I wanted to say. Here's the other thing that's really important. Is living with urgency is about maximizing challenges. Living with urgency is about maximizing challenges. What does that mean, John? Here's what it means. There will be challenges in every season of opportunity. There's this amazing verse in let me find it. I feel like doing just a little Bible today. How about that? Let me find it. 1 Corinthians. Okay. Let me see, everybody. $16. Okay. Here it is. Yes. 1 Corinthians 16:9. 1 Corinthians 16:9. I mean, you can tell this just hit me, right? 1 Corinthians 16:9 says, there's a real opportunity here for great and worthwhile work, even though there are many opponents. There's a real opportunity here for great and worthwhile work, even though there are many opponents. What does that verse mean? Here's what it means, and I'm almost done. Here's what it means. There will be conflict. And now, watch this. Notice I said don't overreact to conflict. There will be opposition. There will be moments where internally embedded in what you're trying to do, there may be some things that are difficult to manage. But here's the power of it. You must know how to get the most even out of the challenges. That's what Paul is really saying. Paul is saying, first of all, I see the great work. That's the first thing. I see the great work. Second of all, because I see the great work, I understand that the great work will produce great outcomes. I see the great work. So I know the great work will produce great outcomes. But here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to get caught up in the opposition and miss the work. So you've got to be able to focus on the opportunity and not focus on the situations or the negativities or the contradictions within the opportunity. And so I convert that negative energy into positive behavior, and I drive forward to produce the things I want to produce. Living with urgency then is about living with a sense that I have something in my possession and I cannot blow it. I'll close with this. One of the most amazing things that has happened to me is that I have a deadline for retirement. I'm living with urgency as a pastor, as the dean, because I have deadlines. I'm going to walk away from the church in retirement. I'm going to one day walk away from being dean. And so I kind of live differently. And I learned this from my brother. You know, my brother writes sermons in a strange way. He writes sermons from the end down, right? He doesn't write sermons from the beginning. Most people start with, he starts with the Bible, that kind of thing, but he writes his conclusion first. And then he builds out the rest of the sermon. And it's interesting, I'm in that place in my life. I'm building my life from retirement now. I know I'm going to retire, so I'm building my life from retirement. And now I'm looking at the church. I'm looking at the dean's position. I'm looking at John Gunn's Ministries. I'm looking at all this other stuff, looking at KFI. And I'm saying, okay, how does all of this get me to what I want to be in the end? Urgency should drive you forward. But urgency should also make you look internally. I close with this statement. Don't get mad if one day you wake up and the season has ended and you didn't take advantage of it. Don't get mad if you wake up one day and the season's over and you didn't take advantage of it. Because the only person to blame will be you. But since you're not going to make that mistake, let's go enjoy life. Remember, this is E3 with John Guns. I'm here to empower you, educate you, and equip you because I want you to live your best life. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing week, and we will see you